So here actually like everything is properly mentioned for this map function, and I will add proper note also. Okay, so I'm taking this part again since this question will come very frequently. Okay, so like you can expect like every two interview you will get in one interview, 50% probability will be there. So first thing, map function. Map function will take input as a array, and map object function will take input as a object. Okay, so in map function syntax will be like this. So here for this map function, input will be this array. This array can be array of element, or this array can be array of object. Anything can be there. And as a parameter we need to pass here two things, value and index. Now for each iteration of this map object, since it's a contain array, for each iteration whatever element will be there or whatever object will be there, it will come inside value. And index will contain index of this particular array. For example, we are running first time. Okay, means in first iteration this index will be, I'm not 100% sure, it may be 0 or 1, it can be 0 or 1, anything, and you just need to check. And this value will contain first time this Jose. Now in second iteration value will be Pedro and index will be 1. Third time value will be Mateo and index will be 2. Okay, and as a result, so whatever database logic you will write here, after this processing, as a result you will always get array. So output type will be array. Okay, now second function, map object. So in map object function syntax will be like this. So here you can see one difference. In this map function we are passing we have two parameter, value, index. Here we have value, key and index. Okay, and you can see like input type of this map object is object. Okay, and this object contains multiple key value pair. Okay, so first what will be first value? So in first iteration value will be this. Okay, key will be, what will be key? A, and what will be index? 0. In second iteration this will be your value. Okay, and then key will be C and index will be 1. Okay, so here you can see your input type is object, input type is array. Okay, it has only two parameter, value and index. It has three parameter, value, key and index. Okay, and as a response you can see we are again getting object. So this part actually I missed, I mentioned incorrectly, it should be object only. And this will be very, as I mentioned multiple times, this will be very frequent question. Okay, you must need to, and it's very easy to understand, like practically also you will able to write some map function or like this. Okay, if you want you can run this and you can see result in dwlang function. Yeah. Okay, Now as I mentioned, if you don't want to use these three, value, key and index, so this one is map object one. Okay, if you don't want to use this one, you can remove this one. Okay, so index, so what will be index? As I mentioned, like index will be $. Okay, here value will be $, and key should be $3. Let me check, is it correct? So $, means index, or $, means here key. Okay, and $, means index, and $, means, sorry, $, value only. So this is, you can see value, $, value only, $, key, and $, is index. But this will change in map function. So if I use this map function, here also if you want to remove these two, we can remove. So this index and value we need to write here. So $, here it will denote value, and $, will be index. Okay, so if you want, you can pass parameter also, or if you want, you can use this dollar symbol. Okay, and you can see here our output is array. Okay, hope now it's clear. So what is map function, what is map object? So you need to give complete details, so like that, then that will be more impressive. We already covered this for each, parallel for each, and batch processing. Okay, so can anyone tell me like what is difference, like what all difference we have in parallel for each and batch processing, if anyone can remember what we discussed last time?
Yeah, Ravi.
Yes.
In parallel for each, we can manage the threads, how many threads we wanted to use, and in batch processing, this mule will decide like based on the V code.
Yeah, correct. And other things in batch processing, what are other advantage we have in batch processing?
We can manage the failure records, like we can give predefined, like if for suppose the 10 records fail also, the processing may not need to stop, like.
Yeah, correct. So like it's an inbuilt feature in batch processing. If you want, so you can configure batch processing in such a way, even if there will be failure in data, like even if there will be failure in during processing, you can configure in such a way like your processing will not stop. So you can define like how many failed record, even you can configure like how many failed record, till how many failed record you want to continue. Okay, so all this kind of like configuration we have inbuilt in our batch processing. But if you want to do in parallel processing, then you need to use try catch block and then try block to handle this, then manually you can do. But in batch processing it's a inbuilt, and batch processing is more useful when we have huge number of record. Parallel for each is good for like medium size of record. It should not be too huge. Okay, fine then. Now here like actually now we will discuss some scenario based question, and then again we will move for some company based question or different component question. Okay, so first scenario based question, from where it start here. So here what we have, in a process API we want to call API A, API B and API C, one after another. Okay, but API B is not critical part of business. Even if API B call will fail, we should not stop our processing, means that entire API execution should not stop. How you will handle this scenario? Anyone want to answer this question? So we have 3 external call. Okay, let me create one diagram for this.
You can use scatter gather.
You scatter gather. Okay, why we will use scatter gather?
Process the parallel execution, right? So if anyone records fail, it will not stop that entire process.
Why in batch? In scatter gather, if one branch will fail, then it will stop the execution. Like entire scatter gather will fail.
We can use try catch there.
Yes, correct. So we can use try catch block there. Okay, so here like our mule application, so let's say this is our mule application. Okay, so we have 3 external call. So this one is external system, one. We have external system 2 here. We have external system 3 here. So now I want to call these 3 external system, and we have some condition here. So this external system 2 call is not very critical. Okay, even if it will fail, we should not stop our execution. Okay, and as he mentioned, like we can use scatter gather, but he hasn't focused on this point. We want to call A, B and C one after another. Means we have some limitation, like we can't do scatter gather. If it is mentioned one after another, means whatever response we will get from A we will use in B. Okay, let's assume here, let me mention this point clearly. Since response of A is used as request of B call. Now is it clear? So one after another means there should be some restriction, like, okay, but okay, so since response of A is used as request of B, for C let me put some condition. For C, do we need any condition or not? So whatever response we will get from A call, we will use that response in request of B call and C call. Okay, that's why I mentioned like this is one after another, like we have to do sequential call here. Okay, we can do scatter gather when we don't have any dependency, like when we don't have this kind of limitation, like we should call one after another. or we don't have any dependency on this 3 call. So in starting only we are getting enough number of request payload which is required to call A, like 1, 2 and 3, or A, B and C. Is it clear? Like question is clear now? So now anyone can answer, like now question is completely clear to everyone, I hope. So anyone want to answer like how we can achieve? So first we need to call this A. Whatever response we will get, we need to use that response to call B and C. Okay, and we have one condition here, like this external system B call is not very critical. Okay, even if it will fail, then we should continue our execution.
Yeah, Ravi, in that case we can also use async scope, no, Ravi, after
Yes,
getting the response
correct.
from the
Correct. So here correct answer will be, like whenever we will do this external system B call, we will put that call inside async scope. So how will be our design? So first call A, and we will call this particular system. Then next call B. So this call B, if we will do here, okay, if there will be any failure in this call, then what will happen? Our entire application will be impacted, like it will raise error and our application execution will stop and it will go to error handling. But here they mention like this call is not critical. So what we can do, we can put this call inside async scope. So here we will do call B inside async scope. So what will happen, like once like thread will come here at this point, this particular async scope will get separate thread, okay, and this execution will happen independently from this main thread. Once this thread will, like one new thread will be created, this particular thread will go to this C call, okay, so it will not wait for completion of B call. So at this place, like okay, this thread should be divided at this place, not okay. So once this async scope will started, so this scope will get one thread and it will start their execution independently. It will not wait, like our next activity, this call C will not wait for completion of call B, okay, it will start its execution. And once entire execution will complete, call C will complete, so it will send response. Whatever response will be there, it will send. Is it clear? Everyone clear with this scenario?
Here call B as only async.
Yes,
and
only call B.
So call A,
It will be
call
normal call, yeah.
of call C
Yeah.
means it skip the call B.
So how now flow will start here? Request will
Yeah.
come, it will call system A, okay, it will get response from there, when it will go to call B, so it's inside async. So what will happen in case of async, like we will create one separate thread for this whatever activity we will use inside async scope. It will go inside like this. It will create new thread and it will execute whatever activity or component we have inside async scope. Okay, so new thread will be created and this will start its execution. Now parent thread will not wait for the completion of this activity. It will continue with next activity, next component, what is just after the async scope. So here what is just after async scope, we have call C. So it will go for call C. Once call C will completed, if something will be there, then it will start execution of that component, and once everything will be done, it will send response back. Here async scope will run in separate thread and it will continue its execution. Once it will be completed, like means whenever like how much time it want, it can take and it can complete its execution. So this main process will not be dependent on this or will not wait for this async component. Hope this one is clear. If you want, you can take more in-depth knowledge of this async scope. Okay, so there can be a few more scenarios on this async scope.
But still, means here using the async scope means it's still waiting in call B, right? Means when we get the response, we don't know. So waiting,
Yes,
or
yes.
it skip
No,
the
no, it will
call
not
B
wait.
and
It
go
will
to
not
the
wait.
calls, right?
Once complete like execution of call C will complete, so whoever calling your API, they will get response, no matter this async scope completed or not.
Okay.
Okay. Now there will be multiple scatter gather based scenario question. Okay, so we will try to cover some scatter gather based scenario question. Okay, so
I will teach in the chat box.
are you saying anyone saying anything?
Yeah. Chat box.
Okay, you mentioned. Okay. Okay, so scatter gather we are going to discuss now. Okay, yeah, and recording is also started. So for scatter gather, like I will first cover this component and then we will discuss multiple scenario, what all scenario question they can ask. So here we have our Mule application. Now when we will use scatter gather, so scatter gather we use whenever we are doing some processing which are independent of each other. It can be external call also, it can be normal like it can be like component processing also. So we are applying some business logic. If all those things are independent, then we should use scatter gather. Now in scatter gather, what we do, we create multiple branches. Okay, and each branch will execute independently. So when we will use scatter gather, first thing we will use scatter gather in case of parallel, like when we want to achieve parallel processing and like we have a group of activity which are independent of each other. That group of activity can be external system call or there can be some business logic implementation. Anything can happen. Okay, so let's assume here we are doing 2-3 call here. Okay, again we have here one system A, we have here system B, system D, system C. Now if they will ask, like we have 4 system here, like we have 4 external system call. It can be anything, database, third party API, JMSQ, or anything it can happen. Okay, now we have here 4 external system call. Here this system A, like whatever request we are getting as a request of this API is enough to call system A. Okay, now this system call B and system call C and system call D, these 3 are dependent on response of this system call A. So once you will receive response of system call A, then only you will able to call system B, system C, and system D. So what will be our design in that case? API design. So here we will call A first, and then we will use scatter gather. Okay, inside scatter gather what we will do? We will create 3 branch. Okay, so this 3 branch will be created. Okay, so this first branch, using this first branch we will call system B. Using this second branch we will call system D, and this third branch we will call system C. Okay, so this is our branch 1. Since what is requirement here? So this system B, system D, and system C call dependent on system A response. So until unless we will not get system A response, we will not able to call this. So we can't use scatter gather at this place. So once we will get response, now these 3 system will get request payload from system A call. So now these three we can call parallelly. If we will have scenario like system D, like to call system D, we need response from system B and system C, then this will again move to outside of this our batch processing. Okay, so this call, in that case what will happen, it will move to outside. Is it clear to everyone? If scenario will change, then we need to keep changing our design. Now here, what is our scenario? System A, first whatever request we will got from external system or client or source system is enough to call system A, so we are calling system A. Then to call system B and system C, we need response of system A. Okay, and this system B and system C call are independent of each other. So in that case, what we will use? We will use batch processing, and we will create two branch. So now these two branch will run parallelly, and these two execution will happen parallelly. If one execution will take 3 seconds, another execution will take 4 seconds, so total processing time will be 4 seconds. So whatever like branch will be there, so which one is take maximum time, that will be our total execution time. So if one is taking 4, another is taking 5, then total execution time will be 5 seconds. Okay, and then we have here another requirement here, like whatever response we will get from B and C system call, we will use as a request of D call. So we will wait for execution of this scatter gather. So both branch will be executed, we will get response of B and C, and then we will call this D system. Now what will happen if there will be any error in this particular branch? So while calling external system B, external system is down. So what will happen in that case? If there will be any failure in any branch, then our scatter gather, entire scatter gather will go in error. Okay, it will create error, and entire execution will stop, and error handler will catch this error and will do required error handling. Okay, so this question may come, what will happen if one branch will fail? And then if they will ask, now even if there will be any failure in branch 1 execution, I don't want to stop my entire processing. So then how you will handle this? So in that case, you need to put this branch inside try block. Okay, so what you need to use? If you want to handle this particular error scenario, if there will be any failure in branch 1, you don't want to stop your entire execution, then use try block, and inside error handling of this try block, you should use on error continue. So in that case, what will happen? Even if there will be any failure in this particular branch, your scatter gather will not fail, and you will go for call D. Is it clear?
Means here try block, in the try block we can put the on error continue.
We
That
must
on
need
error
to
continue,
we
will
must
call
need to
that.
put on error continue only. If you will
Yeah.
use on error propagate, then again this type, this scatter gather will come in error, will raise error, and your process execution will stop. Okay. Hope everyone clear with this scatter gather concept, what all different kind of question they can ask.
Means that call D in outside of the scatter gather. So in try block we are using the on error continue. In that we are put the flow reference to call D.
No. So this call D is after scatter gather. So once this scatter gather completion, like execution will complete, then it will go for call D. Okay. Now like someone asked like how we will able to retrieve value of this particular branch and this. So this branch will create one payload. This branch will also create one payload. Okay. So how you will able to retrieve that value? So to retrieve that value, syntax will be like this. So what it will create, actually it will create array of payload. Okay, since one payload we will get from here, another payload we will get from here. So it will create one parent payload. Inside that parent payload there will be multiple payload. So it will create array of payload. Now how we will able to achieve first payload, branch 1 payload and branch 2 payload? Okay, so there is syntax to call that. So payload dot 0 dot payload. So this will give you this first branch payload, and if you want second branch payload, syntax will be payload dot 1 dot payload. So this will give you second branch payload. So this will be syntax to retrieve payload from branch 1 and branch 2. Okay, so I don't think there will be any more scenario in this scatter gather. So almost like 3-4 kind of scenario we covered, like what will happen in case of error, then how like if different system call will be there, how they will be dependent, and how to design your scatter gather. If anyone has any further query or question, you can ask.
Yeah, Ravi, is there any time limitations, Ravi? For suppose branch 1 is taking some 30 minutes. Will it stop or
No, there is no such time limit. Okay, now yeah, they can ask about time calculation. Okay, for example, this external system is taking 5 seconds. Okay, this one is taking 4 seconds. This one is taking 7 seconds, and this one is taking 2 seconds. So can anyone calculate like what will be our processing time for this API?
14 seconds, Ravi?
14 seconds. Okay, anyone else?
The maximum is 5 seconds. So 5 seconds. 7 seconds, sorry.
Okay, see, this 5 second, this external call will definitely take it there on 5 seconds. So 5 second will be there, plus if you go in this scatter gather, then completion of this scatter gather will completed when both the branch will completed. So this branch will take 4 second and this one will take 7 second, and both these two branch are running parallelly. So what is maximum time? 7 second. So this entire scatter gather will take 7 second. So 7 plus 5, it's 12. Now after this scatter gather we have another call, that is external system D call. So this is again taking 2 seconds. So 12 plus 2, total execution time will be 14 seconds. Okay, is it clear now how to how you will calculate total execution time?
Yeah.
Now next scenario will come from choice two conditions satisfied, which node will be processed. Okay, this question I am not clear, so let's move to next one. There are two insert statement. One insert is successfully completed and second insert failed. For whatever record second insert failed, I want to roll back insert from first. Insert table also, how we can do? Anyone want to answer this one? So what it's saying, we are doing two database insert operation. Okay, let me create diagram first. So here we have mule process, mule API. So we need two database call. DB, we are inserting inside employee table. Okay, and another we have database salary table, or maybe let me think some real time only. Okay, let's assume salary only. Okay, so here like we are doing DB call. Okay, and we are inserting data here. Same we are doing here also. We are doing database call to insert in another table. Okay, now what they are saying, this insert is successful. Okay, while doing this insert operation, this insert failed. So how you will ensure that if this insert will fail, then you will roll back whatever insert you did here. So what exactly we have scenario requirement here, either both in database insert will be completed or none. It should not be like one is completed and second one is failed. If second is failed, then whatever data we inserted here we need to roll back. So anyone know about this? how we can achieve this. No. So here actually,
can you repeat once the scenario?
yeah, here scenario is like we have Mule process, Mule API, which will insert first, which will insert in one database, and then it will insert in database, second database. Okay, now if there will be any failure in second insert due to any reason, it can be like the database server is down, or whatever payload we are passing, whatever data we are passing is not matching this schema, like for example mobile number should be 10 digit but we are passing 11 digits, so this insert failed. So if there will be any failure in second insert, this entire transaction, like first transaction we already completed, record is already created in this database, and while creating record in this database it failed. So what I want, if it is failed, then this record is also deleted, should be deleted. Whatever new record we created should be deleted. Okay, so I hope you are not familiar with transaction. So like in any call, what we do here, we are doing transaction. So there are two kind of transaction we generally know and we use. One is XCA transaction, another one is non-XCA transaction. Okay, so first one is XCA transaction. Even you will get this question in like Mulesoft certification exam in architect 1. So what is XCA transaction? In XCA transaction, whatever connector will involve here, that connector do, like whenever we will configure this XCA transaction, it will do two-phase commit. Okay, okay, and this non-XCA transaction, actually here we don't have any kind of commit. So in XCA transaction, like we have two phase of commit. So what will happen here, we have here DB call. So here one more thing, like all connector or all external system don't participate in XCA transaction. Okay, so what all connectors are? Transactional connector, database, JMS queue, then I'm not 100% sure, but object store is also there. So this DB connector, JMS queue. So these connectors are XCA, this connector are those connector which support XCA transaction, and in XCA transaction we have two phase commit. So what will happen in XCA transaction? So here, if we will not select XCA transaction, then it will behave like non-XCA transaction. But if we select XCA transaction, so first when it will do insert in database, it will do first commit. It will do insert in database, it will do first commit. And when all the transaction will be completed, first transaction, whatever connector we configured as a XCA in this particular Mule application, when all the connector will complete its execution, then it will do second phase commit, means all transaction completed and do commit. But what will happen if any one call will fail, which all are participating in XCA transaction? If any one call will fail, then it will revert all the call. For example, if this call will fail, this call will revert automatically. Whatever record we created here, that record will be deleted from database. if we have like here we have one JMS call. Not working option of rotation. So JMS connector also participate in XCA transaction. Okay, so only few connector participate in XCA transaction, and whatever connector participate in XCA transaction, if there will be any failure in any call or any processing, it will revert all other processing. For example, here what we are doing, we are inserting in employee database, we are inserting in salary database, and then we are inserting in JMS queue. If there will be any failure in this particular JMS call, then what will happen? These two database call will be reverted. So whatever record we have created in this database, whatever record we have created in this database, automatically these two call will be reverted. Same thing happen here. If this call will fail, then this call will be reverted, and if this call will be failed, we don't have like this two will happen after this, so no need to revert. Okay, so now how you will define any connector as a XCA? So whenever you will configure any database or JMS connector, you will get one property. You need to select that property to make it XCA transaction. Sometime like we term this XCA transaction as a global transaction also. Okay, so for this scenario, like answer will be, we need to configure this 3 connector call in XCA transaction. So you need to select that XCA transaction property.
Means we need to select for XA transaction for 3 means
Yes.
2 database and JMS also if you
Yes.
call the
Yes.
JMS.
So it's depend on your requirement. If you have requirement, all 3 should be rollback. If there will be any failure, then you will select all 3. If you will have requirement, I don't want to roll back if JMS will fail, only this database will fail, then I want to roll back. So you just need to configure XCA for these 2 only. Okay.
So sometimes DB connectivity issues means DB failure on the time, how to handle that one?
So that will be like different question. So that we will cover later. Okay. First, focus on what topic we are discussing. So if you have any related question on this particular topic, then you can ask.
Ravi, could you please explain this one more time? Like,
Okay.
it's a bit difficult to understand.
Yeah. So here, like as I mentioned, there are 2 kind of transaction. One is XCA, another one is non-XCA. So in non-XCA transaction, like whatever connectors will be there, they will not participate in transaction. Okay. So in sentence, so here connectors do not participate in transaction. Okay, so what kind of connector will come inside this non-XCA transaction? File, FTP, SFTP, HTTP. So these all connectors are non-XCA transaction connector. So this connector do not participate in transaction. Means even if there will be failure in this connector, you will not able to roll back. Okay. Now XA transaction. So connectors, those participates in transaction, those are like part of this XA transaction. So what kind of connector support this? DB connector and JMS queue, and we have like many more connectors which participate in XA transaction. Okay, and this XA transaction support two-phase commit. Two-phase commit means first commit for their own successful operation, and second commit for once all the XA connector will complete its execution. Okay, so for example here, if this database will be completed, then it will do commit. This will completed, it will do commit. This will completed, it will do commit. And once all the XA transaction will be completed, then we will do second, like it will internally it will do second commit, means everything is done. If second commit will fail due to any other connector fail, then it will roll back, all the other transaction will roll back. So this database will be rolled back, this database will be rolled back. Whatever record we created here, this will be deleted, this will be deleted. So XA transaction part means a transaction supporting XA transaction participate in transaction. If there will be any failure in particular transaction, all connector will roll back, all operation will roll back. Is it clear now?
Yeah, Ravi.
Okay, now here we have another scenario. Two inserts are there, suddenly application crashed. How do you handle with missing records? Okay, okay, here what they are asking, you are inserting data in, you are getting a bunch of record, okay, like maybe 100 record or 1000 record you are getting. You are doing two insert, maybe they are talking about database insert only. Okay, and due to some reason, like your application crashed, means whatever worker you have, that is crashed. Then how you will ensure, like whatever record you missed, that should be inserted again, or like that should be known by admin team, like this many of record successfully inserted and this many failed. Okay, so here like what we can do, for example, we are fetching data from one table and inserting in another table. Okay, now what you need to maintain here, you need to maintain one more column in table from where you are getting data, or maybe like if you are getting from file system, then there also you need to maintain one more column where you will insert processed record. Okay, so let's assume like source system is also database, and you have this kind of scenario, like for example you are doing some payment related transaction, you are capturing some payment related transaction, So you can't afford single loss also, single transaction loss also, since that transaction is very critical part of your application. And for example, you are fetching customer detail. So if some customer, like I am customer, I am fetching my detail. If it failed, then there is no business loss. Okay. So like your mule application can easily afford that loss. But if you are making means if we have one API that is handling some payment related API, means that is handling some payment related transaction. So even if there will be one single transaction loss, there will be huge impact in your business. If the transaction amount is 1 billion, okay, so you can't afford that single data loss also. So in that case, like they are saying how you will handle, actually this question I am making it more generic. So simple thing here, like if you can't afford any data loss, then how you will handle those kind of scenario. So in that case, like you need to maintain one extra column in database or maybe in file. Whenever you are processing one transaction, you need to update that column processed. It can be yes, true, whatever you want to mention. So for example, you have 10 records in database. You want to read that 10 record and you want to insert in another database or another table. And what you are doing, like after 5 record processing, 6 record failed, or maybe your application got crashed. So only 5 record is synced from one database to another database. Now there may be multiple business will happen on second database, and they have only 5 transaction detail. So they will do some wrong calculation. So in that case, like how I will ensure like second database has received all the transaction detail. So what we'll do, we will read first database. We will start processing record one by one. Okay, since we have to write some business, we have to apply some business logic, we need to do some database logic. Okay, now when you will insert first record, then you need to update that source table also from where you are getting data. So in that table also you need to maintain one extra column where you will mention that particular insert operation in second database successful or not. If it is successful, then you in your first database you will update that column as a status as a true, or maybe yes or y, anything what you want to mention. Okay, so whenever you will do processing next time, then you will fetch only those records where status is false or where status is not true. Either status is neither true, either status will be false or status will be nothing. Status is false means we started processing last time but it failed, it like due to some reason either it failed, or if status is nothing means our application got crashed. That's why I was unable to update status also. So in this way, like you can ensure like 2 insert are there, and suddenly application means you are doing error handling there to ensure like none of the transaction is missed. Everyone clear with this, or I need to create diagram or something? So hope everyone clear with this.